choosing it.
Так,
And
итак,
just to give them not Ukrainian students.
Yeah.
So to give them an understanding of their own emotions.
Yeah. And knowing that other people go through it, and
Yeah.
it was really impactful. To be honest, it really was. Let me see if I can find it. It's on here somewhere.
Maybe I need to censor those. So are we okay to start?
Yes, I can't find Vida or her class.
Okay,
They are
hopefully they'll join us. They know where it is.
Whatever you
So I'm just going to
Okay, babe. Perfect.
introduce
Ready to go.
in a minute. So we've got first years, we've got second years. Have we got third years as well?
We haven't been running the 3-year course long enough to have.
No, I mean I call them third years.
Well,
Level
I
6.
haven't seen anyone from
Level 6
class. If
years.
Vida's class was
No.
here, they would be the level 6s.
Level 6. So because it's accelerated,
Yeah.
we don't call them first year, second year, and third year
Yes.
because of that. But effectively, it is. They just compress it into 2 years.
Gotcha.
So you're still doing a 3-year course, but you're doing it in 2 years. Okay, so for people who don't know me, particularly first years, I am Sophia Foker and I'm head of screen. So I now run the Screen School, which comprises games and film. Okay, so lovely to meet you all, and I'm here to introduce our amazing guest, Sara Harrak, who said she'll introduce herself because I'll probably give you a really kind of reduced and a compressed idea of who she is. So I think through her talk and through our conversations, because hopefully this will be dialogic, we can ask Sarah questions that might be really helpful, and I know that will be really useful for us to talk through some of the amazing things that Sarah has been doing and thinking about. So
Yes.
over to you, Sarah.
Hello. I'm going to sit, guys, because let's make it less informal than I'm standing up. So thank you for the intro. My name's Sara Harrak. I am a writer-director. I have been working in this industry for over maybe 15 years. Previously, I worked as an assistant director for 10 years, so I'm sure you all know what an AD does, I'm assuming. So I did that for 10 years, worked on features for Disney, worked on things like Downton Abbey, and then I worked on sort of lower budget BBC, People Just Do Nothing kind of vibes. So I had a whole range of working with loads of different shows, comedy, drama, the whole thing. So basically I think what the best thing I'll do, obviously I've been told that you guys are you'll be working towards short films, so I'll talk about how basically to level up from your short films. So how it ended up with me, I made, I'll go through a bit of my background in a minute, but basically I made a very, strong short film that did very well film festival wise, but also showed how I could manage a bigger budget, bigger actors, and just ultimately how you can make a story that's effective and that hasn't been seen in the film festival run. I've been in many film festivals before, and you get a whole load of different types of film festivals. So it's films. So it's like, how can you tell a story that hasn't been seen before, or even if it's a story about, let's just say, I don't know, dementia. It's like how we've all seen lots of films. It's an important story. Obviously, I'm not disregarding that, but it's like, how can we, through your lens and through you as a director or writer or whatever it is, how can I flip that story on its head and be like, oh, I'm going to show you a way that I'm half Moroccan, so I'll go, this is how we deal with dementia in a Moroccan family. Do you know what I mean? So where can you pull those sort of little things that who you are inside you and bring that out into a story that you may have seen more of a, I don't know, Caucasian family dealing with dementia, but it's very different in a different culture. So that's what we're going to talk. I want everyone just to basically if you've got any questions, because I really want to make sure it's beneficial for you guys. If you've got any questions whilst I'm talking, give me a shout. But first of all, I think maybe I'll just show you the kind of work that I do. The first one will we'll do this one first. So Never Too Late is a show that's on Channel 5 at the moment. I didn't write it. I was a director for hire. And it's a rom-com. And then I'll show you Solos United, which is on Channel 4 at the moment. And that is what I wrote and directed. Yeah, so they're just trailers.
Yeah, do you want to switch off the lights, maybe?
You're both fighting the lights.
Yeah.
Social life's all funerals these days.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine, Peter.
Kept away little secrets, didn't we?
One fall and you put me in a hole. I read somewhere there's a lot of STIs in places like these. You might even meet someone.
Sin, of all the Rotala villages in the world, she walks into mine.
Go away!
I thought we could make a go of it. Wife, kids.
Pulling the same tricks you pulled 50-odd years ago.
You can go, Cynthia.
Mary, I've got some making up to do before I go.
What? Oh, right, go easy. Ow, my arm. Let's be careful. Oh, you're right.
Can someone pull my fucking lifeline?
Nurse!
Spurs and Morbius ready to ride. Sheriff in town with a...
That is the curve.
What? Oh, probably.
So that's one of them. And then we'll show you, I'll show you Solis United, which I co-wrote and is my idea basically.
Welcome to Solars United.
Wonderful football here for the Solars. Yeah, but time like this, we might actually win a match.
The council's closing our pitch.
What? They can't do what?
They said we got a month.
I don't want this to end, Lily. Coach, how do you know when it's time to let go?
We don't want to lose our pitch,
No.
so we'll raise the money.
I probably didn't need to stand up for that, did I?
Cool. There you go, guys. I don't normally start off with, this is all my work, guys. Look at all my stuff. But it just gives you a kind of idea of like the vibe and that just who I am as a director and a filmmaker. So let me see what we start off with. So with let me give you off start off. So basically, when I never went to film school, but it's very beneficial as well because I know I'm in a school where you're learning. So I basically started off as wanting to be an actress, which is diabolical because I am a really bad actress. So thank God that didn't happen for me. So finished sixth form and then I started making short films because there was no access for me as an actress. So me and a good friend of mine started writing short films together. We're like, right, we don't need anyone. We're going to make our own stuff, which is that energy is what you need to take out of from when you leave this school is if there are not opportunities for you, go and make them yourself. Like that's the biggest thing I'm going to say, guys. And I'll talk about finance with that as well. Anyway, so I started making short films, ended up getting, like, I used to live in Essex when I was younger. The council gave us money, like we just rang them up, emailed them up. All of this shit, you need to be, excuse my language, but you need to make sure you're proactive. If you are finding, if there's any fundings out there, you need to go for it, okay? Whether it's, so I'm going all over the place, but like I said, I'm half Moroccan. This weekend, I'm going to Berlin Film Festival and I'm meeting all of the Moroccan people the Moroccan production companies so that I can try and get funding from Morocco. So wherever you're from, see if there's funding because let me tell you, London and England, what can I say about this? I'm just trying to be a bit diplomatic, but like you what? Sorry. Like there's not that much funding going on at the moment. Like the industry, there's a lot of constrictions, and like with that comes a lot of problems for up and coming directors. But use that fire inside you of like, this is not going to stop me. Okay, I'm going to still tell my stories. You need to have that energy to keep yourself going. Anyway, so started making short films. Ended up calling, like, this is back in the day where it was like emails weren't really, wasn't really a thing, kind of ish. Called up the BBC and said, this is a bit of a different world, obviously, but I was like, can I work as a runner for free in your post-production house? They said yes. This is all a very short story. started working as a post-production runner, still making short films at that time. And I was doing very well. I was sort of seen as the, we won a Young BAFTA award, and I ended up Independent Talent, which is a big agency, ended up calling me and was like, come in for a meeting. But I was like, I need to have experience on the floor. I need to know what a bigger set looks like, because I'm just out here learning from a book as to how a set looks like. Anyway, started working as an AD, like I said, for 10 years. That was the most valuable experience I've ever had. I was always standing next to that director, knowing what doesn't work and what does work. The importance of that relationship between you as a director and the actors, I promise you, will make or break a film. For example, the show that I did with the actors on Never Too Late, the first one you saw, I had a really tight relationship with the actors. And I promise, once you create that safety with the actors, they're on board and you can push them and you know, really pull out the story together, basically. Because as a director, all your job is collaboration, conversation, to be able to conversate with people properly, with respect. And there is another one, and I can't think of it, creative vision as well. So think of this 3 C's, basically. Anyway, so ended up ADing, took a 3-year hiatus, did a classic Eat, Pray, Love, went to India, went to Bali, did what I needed to do, started rewriting and started making short films again. The first short film when I came back to London was a film called Fucked. And it's a 6-minute short film. We had Rosalind Eliza from Slow Horses acting in it. We were very lucky. We didn't end up paying her because we had no budget to make this short film. It was 3.5K, I think, for 1-day shoot. We shot in Stratford in this brilliant off-licence. What I would say with short films, guys, is that, and I can't speak for obviously your university side of things, but just generally when you leave university, you leave school, you have to be really clever as to how you're utilising your money, if you even have money, right? So post-production, you shouldn't be paying for that. That you should be trying to get that for free. And what I mean by that is that so my post-production house was, I can't remember the bloody name of it. Fuck, they're going to kill me for that. I can't remember their name, but I use them a lot now. And the whole idea is that they'll go to you, you know what, come in and do post-production for free, because in their mind, you're the next director. You're going to bring them jobs later in the year. So see this as a two-way street. Don't ever go, oh my God, you know, like, obviously you say thank you and you're very grateful for that. But it's like, you are a director and you're going to be bringing them work in the future. So if you have that mentality as you go along, you're asking people to jump on maybe for free, and but it's a long-term relationship, and everyone's like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch your back, especially when you don't have funds. Like my parents aren't from this industry. I've had to work from the ground up, as it were. So there was only a small budget. It did very well in the film festivals, which therefore helped me on my next project, which was Solars United. With film festivals, the whole point of film festivals really is for you to get a little star, a little badge on you saying you've been verified, you're legit, we respect that person's work. And as you start getting all these badges, like BFI Film Festival, BAFTA Film Festivals, it's all legitimacy. It's all going, this person's decent actually because she's been or he's been, gone to this film festival, blah, blah, blah. Which will then help you when you're down the line for getting agents as well. This is all, think of it as compounding. I do this, to do this, to do this, to do this, to do this. And that's kind of the biggest thing I would say about that. What else is there? Film festivals.
Sarah?
Yes.
There was also that amazing thing
yes.
that you talked about
yes,
in terms of how you raise funding.
Oh yes,
you
funding.
Go through mainstream funding.
Yeah, so
that was really useful.
Yeah, so funding. So none of my short films were ever funded by BFI. I never got maybe my stories were not kicking for them. I don't know. And I would never not say don't apply for these big funding. Always do it because you never know. And it's always good to have all the paperwork aligned. So once you've done the BFI funding or whatever funding it is, I'm not saying BFI don't give. It's just like there's a lot of directors or writers within even just London, for example. So with that in mind, the idea that I've got this script, I've got this vision, how am I going to make it, make this? And always have that in your head. You're like, I'm making this, doesn't matter what happens, right? So if you have that fire is going to burn, which is great. So what I do is, so for example, let's think Soulish United, right? We ended up getting, I think, about 50k, which is a lot for a short film. And none of that was funding, as I say, through these BFIs and all that sort of stuff. With this film, so I've got queer film. It's a queer film, and also it's a film about women's football, right? So I've got 2 targets. I can go out and be like, right, all of these people who love women's football, how can I contact them and see if they can put money into my pot? Queer, there's such a big queer community. I was like, okay, how can I contact these queer, so my exec producer was a woman called Dame Kelly Holmes. I don't know if you know her. She's the England sprinter. She's mixed race. She's recently come out as queer. So we then targeted her and made her an executive producer on our film. There's 2 benefits. Obviously, there's financial benefit that she gave money to our film. But there's the second one, which is now she's my exec producer. Again, it's that validation of going, I've got an exec producer who is a big timer. People absolutely love her. So when we premiered at BFI Flare, we were the ones who were asked to do an ITV News interview because I had Dame Kelly Holmes who was going to be in front of this film. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like now it's going, oh, people want to talk to Dame Kelly Holmes and she's now attached to my film, which therefore means I'm going to get more press. I'm going to get more PR because I've got this executive producer. So be really clever with filmmaking, especially at the beginning when you're making short films. You need to be clever. You need to be switched on in terms of PR, how to get my film shown in front of people, because there is a sea of short films. So it's like, how am I leveling up? How am I getting my film seen in front of people and this, like, make it more glitz and glamoury? The other one that will help as well is getting at least one actress, and I say named actress, ideally in your film. So you've got one exec producer who's of something within whatever your film's about. Obviously target someone who would make sense with that. And then you've got an actor who's a lead actor who, or even if it's a small part, again, it's all about that PR. So because when you go to that film festival run, the film festivals on Instagram are going to be more promoting your film because you've got a cool exec producer who's got a name and an actor who's got a name. Like, all of this shit is so important to get your things out there. So yeah, finance, just, you really need to look outside the box and not go, oh, well, I've applied for this, so we'll just sit and wait. That's not going to, once you've applied for something, forget it and let it go, move on. What's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? There's so many film funds out there. Ideally, what you do is go, all right, so let's find out all the dates of these film festivals, these film funds, and put them in your diary 2 weeks before, reminder to be applying for these things. Once you've done one, you've got the budget, you've got the deck, you've got the script, you're literally just pinging it out. And they might go, okay, so prime example, so Netflix has just done a fund, I think it's finished now, for documentary making. Short film fund, 30k, and the thing was about change or changing. I think that was a key word. So if you've got a project on the back burner, you go, right, how can I relate that to changing or change or whatever? I mean, it's quite a broad thing anyway. You can relate it to most things. So it's like, okay, cool. You've got that project ready to go. Fire out. Boom. Forget about it. Don't even think about it. Next thing. How can I? And during this time, get yourself on LinkedIn. Get yourself on Instagram. Message people. I gave you an example. There's one girl who I was tutoring for a bit, and she said she had a film about a young girl who just started a period, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool. Go email, what they're fucking called. What's the period company called? I can't even think. Anyway, whatever that period company was, I said, go out and contact them. See if they can, if they don't give you money, then down the line, once you've made that film, can they promote the film with you? Can you put or say, look, I'm going to put your logo at the end of my short film. Do you want to put £1,000 in? Or will you promote our film if we put, again, because it's like, it's all about leveling up of like going, I'm attached to this person, which means, and it's weird like that, but that's the reality. So it's all about going attachment.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So the 2 examples you gave,
yeah,
are about really needing to look to stories
Yeah.
that are not part of the mainstream. You're looking for stories that are relevant to you,
Yeah.
but also relate to somebody out there that can fund
Yes.
that particular stream. Because I often find, and I, no disrespect to students, particularly first years, but often students want to reproduce the same stories, and giving people the confidence that you have to say, no, think independently, think about yourself, think about what stories you bring that are different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, like, look, the thing is, guys, I do comedy, I do comedy drama. That's kind of the way I roll. And for me personally, I was saying this earlier, I went to an Immigrant Film Festival, which is a brilliant film festival. I think it's now finished, and Soldiers United was playing on that. And my importance in this world is to be like, right, we've got... the world is a shit show, to be honest, and we all know that. But it's like the importance of the stories that you tell. So, for example, I've got obviously a Muslim character in there who's hilarious, and I had a niqab football coach. I want to show the world, actually, no, we're not always in this like dark, we're not always sad, we're not always, bombers and all this sort of shit. We're like, no, I now have got creative control of what I'm telling the world. All those people in Soldiers United are very much reflective of my foot, because it's based on my football team. It's like there's a real importance of changing the narrative. You look at Mo, Rami, all of those Delhi boys, all these actually American shows are so important because it flips the narrative of what a Muslim looks like, for example. And there was something else I was going to say that you told me about but again, it's like, utilize this time whilst you're in the safety net, as it were, to really find what your voice is. Because one of the biggest things as well, when you start getting down the line where you're talking to agents, they want to be able to look at all your work and be like, oh, I can see the tone. Everyone always talks about tone. What's the tone of the director? Again, apologies, guys. I'm obviously director, writer, so I'll more talk about that. But it's like, what is the tone? They want to be able to see that throughout all your work. But I would say utilize this time whilst you're in this sort of safety net of going, right, what is my voice? What is the stories I want to tell? And focus on that. And just remember, if I give every single person here one script, the same script, all of you are going to tell that story different. Guarantee. Because everyone is different, and that's just how it is. Trying to think if there's anything else that's particularly important.
Well, what struck me about you is that you've really taken the opportunity to tell stories that can change the world.
Yeah.
And I think that is an invaluable thing for everybody here to think about, that you could, through your storytelling, change how people see the world.
Or certain community, or whatever however you want to flip that a bit, basically. I think comedy is an interesting one. Who does comedy here, by the way? Anyone? No. Yeah. Okay. Great. It's a few of you. I'm glad to see. I think comedy is a funny one. Literally, a funny one because I think it can be seen as a lesser form, and I'm very biased in this, but I think the strength in comedy is that you unite an audience in a way that drama doesn't. Drama is when you're watching a drama, you're all in your own feels and you're all relating in a different way, whereas there's a great community aspect with comedy. And also with comedy, once you've got an audience, it's so easy to stretch the reality of life and really get them to jump on board of do you know what, there's a niqabi coach, yeah, that's fine, cool, I'm here for it. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can just take the piss a little bit. Do you guys have any questions? I know it's an hour and it's quite quick, but yes, hit me.
So basically I wanted to discuss landscapes and how that affects how films might be shown in the future. So like for instance, in America there's a lot of like streaming companies that are like buying up like sports broadcasting things because they want to like be like an official network, but it's going towards more streaming over there because less people are tuning out of more and more people are tuning out of TV and going more into streaming.
Yeah.
And then over here, I still see that we have like a very strong, I'd say like TV like network. So it's like if you're making shows, how does that affect? Because I think maybe for streaming, they might be more, I don't know, either prone, open to bigger ideas and to fund bigger ideas. While as here, if you have like homegrown stuff where you just want to write, I don't know, would it be a better idea to pitch it to them, to British networks here, or like how does it affect the? Because I'm just confused.
I think I know your question. I think let me answer and then see if I do know it. The first thing I'm going to say, no one in the industry knows what's going on. That's point blank. Everyone is like we're in a completely new world, I suppose. You have meetings with, I don't know, head of whatever BBC channel. You have meetings with, and they don't know really what's going on in that sense, which actually is a thing of beauty, because people like us can go out there and make something. And like, for example, I really like YouTube, honestly. I mean, look at what's his name, Ajani, I forget his second name. Anyway, the Dreaming Whilst Black. Have you guys seen that? Have you not seen that? Okay, go home, BBC, Dreaming Whilst Black. It's about a black director, and his journey basically, and it's a comedy, but it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and we should support him as well. Anyway, go watch that. And so at this stage, I would say go out there and make it is what I would say is the first thing. Because Ajani, he basically made a sketch show or something, not a sketch show, it was like he did it online basically, and then BBC picked it up. The same thing, have you guys seen the show People Just Do Nothing? No? Yeah, so okay, People Just Do Nothing also came from being picked up from YouTube. In terms of pitching, reality, unless you've got an agent, I don't know how, and I don't want to say no, this never happens, but the reality is, unless you get an agent, you're not going to be able to get through that door of being able to pitch, sadly, which is why I'm saying go on your own, as it were, like, and create traction, because that's the key thing. Right now, you just want to create traction. And yeah, because pitching, you generally need an agent to get yourself through that door, to even get near a commissioner or I know I haven't really answered your question. I know I don't want to crush your dreams, but it's just like what I would do is concentrate very much on getting that stuff out there.
Can I?
Yes, please.
So I'm maybe bringing
please do.
Another element might help. But just what you were talking, because it's sort of, I think, relevant, is just like, yes, you're not going to get to pitch to Netflix without an agent or a track record. And we talk about that all the time on the course. Track record, create a track record, get to festivals, start to get those, laurels and stuff, and start to get your name out there. Then people might take your meeting. Stuff. But you're talking about two things that I think are relevant to this, which is one, packaging and knowing your market. Yeah. So whilst we want to tell original, different stories, we've also got to know there's an audience for it, or no one's going to give you any money, or no one's going to watch it, and you won't get a track record. Yeah. So how can you, with the stories you want to tell, one, identify the audience? How have you done that? And two, which is a slightly different question, so forgive me, but like you're talking about named actors, it's something I've been talking to mine about and stuff.
How do you access them?
They don't currently have a track record. Yeah. So what have you got any tips or tricks that they can use to get through the agent to the person? Understood.
Okay, let me talk about the acting first one, because I've got a memory of a fish. So two things. Instagram is super handy and super helpful. I promote this all the time. I should be getting a flipping cut from it, but I use Instagram purely as my work. It's a work account. That's it. That's point blank. And the reason it's so good is that because what I can do now, find an actor. I mean, also be reasonable. Obviously, you're not going to go for, I don't know, I can't think of a huge, Meryl Streep, like, the reality of who you're messaging. If you find an actor on Instagram, drop them a message on Instagram. Hey, guy, hey, look, I've got this film. I'd love you to be involved in it. Love to have a coffee. The first thing is, the biggest thing I would say, always get these people hooked. Make it short and brief. Can I meet for a coffee or a Zoom? Once you get that, then I would go into the long pitch of everything. But give them a rough log line. The reason that you may think that they will be great for the job. I think that's it. Yeah. So utilize Instagram as you want to go straight to the actor, ideally. Agents, I've got an agent. I'm sure they do a lot of sieving of stuff, and they do is the answer. So there's that way. If you have any of those friends who know actors, great. If you don't worry. Casting directors, speak to a casting director, drop them an email. Don't be scared to cold email people. That's how I got my agents. So you know, it works basically. Cold email people. Maybe think about, again, targeting what is the story about. So for example, Soldiers United. Again, like I said, it was a queer story. So I went and found a brilliant casting director. She did Bridgerton, who's also queer, and she jumped on board for free. So there's always that in terms of access, but really I'd say first point of call, see if you can directly message them on Instagram. What was the other question?
The other point was more about so in terms of where it's going to land. So how do you, when you're telling your stories and the stories you're passionate about, we want to be original and stuff, but also we want to hit an audience.
Yes.
So how do you sort of think about targeting an audience? How do you know, because you're saying about the PR's important, and the marketing of it and stuff, and I've been trying to tell my students about some of this stuff you need to think about at the beginning.
Oh, hugely, yeah. So
at the beginning of their journey, how can they be thinking about this? So they've got an original story. So I don't know what Fucked was about. But, you know, how did you know that was going to hit a market? How did you know it was that niche you were talking about? Between being all of the stories out there, one that people are going to want to watch, but a bit different to what everything else is.
The honest answer is I had no idea. And all I'm going to say as directors, writers, whatever, I knew I wanted to see, again, it was another queer film, but I wanted to see a queer film that wasn't about, oh my God, I've come out and it's a disaster, my family are not talking to me. All very important stories, but I've seen it a lot. And I want to show the change and the reality. Actually, living in London was also fortunate and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, we don't tell queer stories in a comedy way. So I know that's what people are yearning for. They want to see the comedies. Like I said, when I was in that immigrant film festival, my film was in the middle of all these very sad, important stories. But it was like, I could feel the audience go, oh my God, thank God I can laugh. Like I can laugh at seeing my community on camera and relate to it. It's sometimes hit and miss. I think it's a hard question that. I think that's why actually things like YouTube and stuff like that are really good. Nowadays, everything's algorithms and numbers. So for example, if I go to Netflix and I go, I've just done this show on YouTube and I've just got 2 million views. There's a number there that they can see that it's working. Do you know what I mean? So again, utilize these portholes and be like, is this working? Obviously, don't do one video and give up. You need consistency with everything. This is the whole game is consistency. Like make sure you are doing the work, and it might not land, you know, first film. When you screen your films, I want you to be in that room with the audience and work out, look at people's faces. Are they engaged? Are they laughing at the points that I thought was hilarious and they're not? Do you know what I mean? So all these, it's just like listening in and utilizing, creating these short films as a sounding board of like, this ain't worked, this has not worked, why hasn't it worked? Oh, they laughed at this, or that they were crying at this point, whatever you wanted, basically. I think I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Sorry,
Oh no, because now I need to remember it. And what it was, you spoke about comedy.
Yes.
And you brought like Muslims into comedy and things like that. Have you ever made anything that's not comedy, but it's about Muslims?
Me personally, no. I haven't.
But if
it
you
doesn't
were,
yes,
if you
go on.
were to,
yes.
How would you go about it? Because it's a very different route from showcasing Muslims in a completely different light.
Can you give me an example? So you're saying, say for example, you've got a drama about Muslims. What?
It's like, it's almost like because mostly Muslims are either, it's like they're showcased as a stereotypical, like arranged marriage, and this type of abuse, trauma that they're going through. If it's not comedy, and if it's comedy, it's comedy. How would you showcase something like that without it going down the stereotypical route? And how would you present it to audiences, and how would you go about like marketing it and things like that? Because it's very different from what anyone's seen. Yeah,
that's great. That's perfect, because you're showing someone you're showing an audience that they haven't seen before. It's a drama, but yet it's not about trauma. Like, you know, oh, they're having these two Muslim couple and they're having an argument about who's put the bins out. Oh, this is fresh. Do you know what I mean? It's like so simple. It's like almost like that. What have you not seen that you're like, hold on, this is what I want to see as a director, writer. How can I just switch it up and like go, well, this is always the storyline. How can I? So it's what you're like. Literally, you have to just write those stories, write them.
You had a great example earlier of a film that you talked about dealing with the Middle East at the moment and being and I thought that was a really good example to speak to that.
Yes, sorry, actually, that's a bit So again, at this immigrant festival, there's brilliant. I think she's a first-time director actually. A girl called Saba. She directed a short film. And I think it's called Mask. That's what it's called. It's called Mask. I think it's literally 2 to 3 minutes long. Short and sweet, to the point. Basically, it was about a girl who has been looking at the madness of this world. And I'm sure you're all feeling that, where it's like you're just like either in tears or you just don't know what to do. You feel absolutely horrendous. And then the next moment, she's having to have a Zoom call, in this case was with a production company, and having to mask, hence the name, mask everything that's going on inside you. It was literally 2-3 minute short film, cleverly shot through the iPhone. It wasn't an iPhone, but as if she's looking up towards her through the iPhone. She drops her phone, she goes to a laptop, opens a laptop. We're now in the camera on a laptop, and it was beautifully done and very impactful. And again, this is the other thing with storytelling. It doesn't need to be 25 minutes long. You can storytell in 2 minutes as long. There was another film that I saw. What was it called? This was a comedy film, but very simple, about a kid kicking a ball next door, and then this granny kept throwing it over, and then it was, I can't remember what the ending was, but it was basically about this relationship between this young boy and this granny next door. Short and sweet, so impactful, and that is the point. It's like, with short films, and this is a nugget of advice, guys, keep it under 15 minutes, ideally even shorter. The shorter the short film, the more likely your films are going to get into film festivals. So if you're doing like a 6-minute slot, they're like, oh, actually, I got time to put that film into that film festival. They don't want anything longer than 15. I would really strongly advise not to do that. Obviously, please do as you wish. I'm not forcing you, but it's just advice, because you want to be that film where I can slot into loads of film festivals. That's the same as Fucked. Fucked was only 6 minutes. Sorry, it wasn't here, but my first short film. And we got into so many film festivals, and it was very impactful. And we ended up winning quite a few awards, so it was good.
How important are the rules? So, like, if you wanted to just film a whole movie through, I don't know, like a fishbowl lens.
Yeah.
And like wanted to break all kind of rules.
Yeah.
Obviously still stay within like around 15 minutes, 10 minutes. But you just wanted to like kind of like break the rules of lighting, it's filmed, dialogue, everything. Is that like, would you encourage that, or would you say kind of like have some sort of like rules?
I would say absolutely do as you wish, as long as there's a motive behind it. So, for example, if I'm coming in and telling a story, and I'll give you an example, actually. If I'm telling a story and, say, for example, you guys are in love, and I'm like, okay, so how can I show that love and that feel? Okay, I'm going to use Steadicam because it feels very slow, like motion's really like soft, and we feel very much in it. Suddenly she goes, I'm divorcing you, I'm walking away from you. We'll go handheld because we're more internal of how she's feeling. So if your fish lens is telling a story, then absolutely, but don't do it out of, what I would say is don't do it out of a gimmick of going, oh, this is like really cool because I'm doing it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what your style is as a director, writer, creator, so I don't know if that's your kind of style. But absolutely, if it's aiding the story that you're telling, 100%. Yeah. And that's what all of it is all about. It's like you're using the camera not just to shoot some people. It's like, how am I telling a story through the camera, through the colours that I might paint this room green because, I don't know, whatever reason. There's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason for it, right? Creatively. Or I'm going to... The music is a huge thing. For example, if you're in the edit and a scene's not working, you're like, fuck, excuse my language, but I've really done everything I can to edit this scene, and it's still not hitting. Know that you've got music. When you listen to music on the street, for example, and then suddenly you go, God, I feel a bit sad today, and you go, oh, because I've been listening to sad music. That's the impact with music on picture is insane. So always remember that when you're in the edit as well. Yes.
I don't know if you've made something like, probably, but you know, like very artistic pieces that not everybody's gonna get.
Yes.
So, like, example, like if someone has a mental disorder, most people don't understand how it is. So if you made something very, very artistic to do with that, only people who've been through like that type of trauma would understand. Or like even something like someone from a war-torn country, there's certain specific traumas that they can understand. And if they make a piece of art, not everybody's going to get it.
Yeah.
But how would you market it? Because you know that you're not going to have a massive audience, and you know that only specific people who understand the art of it and also the trauma of it. How would you...
Well, it depends on you as a creator or a filmmaker. Do you want to target those people who are going to understand it? Do you want this? I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you in terms of when it comes to more art house stuff. I don't actually do art house that much. Not that much. I don't do art house. I've got a lot of friends that we were saying this earlier. I've got a lot of friends that do it. And what comes with art house, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, what comes with art house is that there is a smaller amount of people that are going to see your work. So, and again, I'm generalising here. You might do something and everyone's seeing it. I hope to God that happens. But that's a generalisation. So you need to work out what your goal is. Is it for you to be more commercial and get more eyes on your story? Or is it to target those people who are going to be able to relate and finally have a breath of fresh air by seeing your art house work and go, oh my God, I feel seen, I feel heard. So it depends on what you want for your thing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to do both because I didn't want to just showcase. Obviously, I want those people to feel heard and seen, but I also don't want to isolate that group.
Yeah.
That only you can understand. I want to like open it to everyone. So how would you?
So I think there's a lot of film festivals that would be really, really interested. There's a huge independent sector. The Berlin Film Festival has an independent stream. There's a lot, and lots of people get spotted. I have a lot of friends who became incredibly successful through that route. I agree with you. It depends on what your aspiration is.
Yeah.
And if you're true to yourself, like, I really want to make this film because it matters that people see it and hear it in this way, that will go a long way. So I think the confidence that you're showing, this is how I want to express myself, is so infectious and brilliant. And equally, you can have the same impact with your own voice. I think trusting that is so hard, but trusting your voice is key.
I think if you're addressing an issue, and the problem is, we can't always have our cake and eat it, as much as I love cake. And I think what Sarah's saying is about having a primary focus. So if your primary focus is to show the wider world that these people, there's this real experience and it's relevant, and these people have something to say, then that's your primary focus, and your secondary concern then is to honour that experience those people have had and try and express that in the most authentic way you can that will communicate. But if you it's sort of like trying to find for yourself with your own voice where on that scale between really expressing it in a way that the people who've been through it understand it, but then the other end expressing it in a way that the mainstream audience is going to understand it. You within yourself have to find in the story you want to tell where on that sliding scale you want to pitch your film. Because those two things, the reason a group might feel isolated is because the mainstream don't understand.
Yeah.
And so to just express it this way, you're not going to reach the mainstream, but they will feel heard. And so you need to sort of work out for yourself the primary goal, and then what the secondary goal is, and then work out on that sliding scale where you're going to pitch your film. And then by being true to it, being honest and being, what's the word I used? Honouring of that person, those people's experience, then hopefully you will do what you want, but it will be difficult to achieve both at the same time, because the reason these people feel isolated is because the mainstream don't understand. And so bringing those together, it's got to be somewhere between the two. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was saying, Des, that sometimes I get so frustrated when there's another repetitive horror film that emulates the same narrative structures that we see, trying to be another Netflix where you're never going to get there. So those personal stories that people tell about something that matters has such huge value.
And I think it's that we. My point is the primary goal. I mean, both have value. So if you want, and you will tell it in your unique way, and that's the important thing. But if you want to reach the mainstream, you've got to tick certain boxes that the mainstream will understand and engage with, or they won't come, if you see what I mean. And it's again, it comes back to what Sarah was saying. No one knows. If we all knew how to make films that did everything we want, were expressed this in a way to the mainstream, and everyone, we could make money and have artistic, integrity and have critical success, we'd all not be here. We'd be out there doing it. But that's why you have to stay true to yourself, true to the story you want to tell, and only you know where on that sliding scale you want to pitch it in a way that will honour the story you want to tell, the people you want to tell it about, but also try and open it up to a new audience.
Yeah.
We have another question.
Yeah. Hello.
My name's Naomi.
Hello, Naomi. Pleasure to meet you too.
I just want to know, so for me, it's like, how do you write, how do you overcome writer's block? Not even starting, how do you overcome writer's block, and how do you make sure that, how do you generate ideas that it's not so generic? How do you generate ideas, and how do you overcome writer's block and even start?
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk about how my ideas. So mostly what I do as a writer director, is it Matt Damon and what's his name? Ben Affleck. They work together in the sense of one's physically writing and one generates ideas and kind of inputs that. That's kind of me. I'm less of this. But the way I do it, you got notes on their phone. Anytime you're out in the wild, and that's why you should sometimes take your headphones out your ears, because you get so many stories. And I say this to all of you. And I mean, I'm a bad habit of putting my headphones in as well. But things might come. There might be moments where you're like, some madness happens in front of you, and you just write it down, because it might not be a story, but it might be a story that you'll have somewhere down the line that you go, actually, it'd be really funny if I put those two characters that interrupt this person, blah blah blah. Prime example, I was in Stratford, which is a mad place anyway. I was near the old centre, and there was just someone walking around with a full lettuce just crunching away, and I was like, I just love it. I was like, that's a great even if it's just an extra, even if it's supporting artist, I'm like, I'm going to utilise that because that's really funny. Just little bits like that. So always be writing anything you see. That's the point. Is like. And you'll see most directors are slightly older because they've lived a life, they've met people, do you know what I mean? It's like you've had essence of life basically, and met loads of people and had stories and been through heartbreak, been through loss, been through love and all of the things. Which brings me back to writer's block. Two things. Are you being very regimented with yourself? Even if you're going, right, I'm writing 1 hour a day, I'm not moving from this seat. And I'm not looking at Instagram. Even if I don't write, I've got my laptop open. Are you being that?
No, not yet.
That's something you've got to do. Because even if you write, even if you like everyone, and you know this, it's the vomit draft first that you just get it down, get the vomit draft first, and then you've got pen to paper, and then you'll feel more confident to start editing it and finessing it and going, oh, this is actually really bad, I need to change it, or this is a journey. And it's same as with filmmaking. Like I always find when I go into the edit, for example, I look at the first cut that the editor's done and I go, oh my God, it's not about the editor, it's just how it is. But I go, this is the worst film I've ever made. And then when you start finessing it, like the editor's there to go, Sara, or whoever the director is, I'm going to pull you off this cliff, it's going to be all right. So anyway, so yeah, I would say those are the two things I would do. And sometimes you just need to live a little bit, like go out and enjoy your life. The problem with this industry is like, and a lot of friends who write for like Gangs of London and loads of shows. Sometimes you need to go and live a bit and enjoy your life. And it's really important as a creative, and we're so like knuckling down. We're like must create, and it puts too much pressure. And I think when you're creating, I know it's this idea of like if you're angry and upset, you can create this great thing. I don't work like that, and I know not a lot of people don't. So make sure you're feeding your soul, whatever that looks like, and hopefully some ideas will start generating. No worries.
I just saw pizza arrive, which is really
lovely.
But there's a couple of things. Also, what she said about feeding your soul. Get to art galleries, go to the theatre, go to watch films that really are in a similar genre. Anything that's feeding your imagination is really going to spark. That's really cool. And not enough people do that. They think, but get out and see other art and really spark your imagination. Just two things quickly. One is you talked very early on about actors, working with actors and making them feel safe. Yeah, can you really important. Explain that?
Yeah, I think we have this thing, or younger directors have this thing where it's like, oh, actors, they're confident, they can come on set and it's fine. No, is the answer. They're humans too. That's the first thing I'm going to say, guys. They're humans. You've got to remember as well, normally speaking, if you're doing a TV show, you never get rehearsal time. So these actors I work with, you don't have rehearsal time. So if you're lucky, you'll have a phone call with them a couple of weeks before set going, FYI, this is the situation. Or you'll meet them when they have costume fittings and you'll go see them there. Professionals are professionals anyway, so they kind of get it. But so when they step on the floor, you've got a whole crew, however many your crew, you've got all these crew that have been there and you're all chatting away and everyone kind of knows each other at that point. This poor actor is coming onto set and knowing they can feel the tension because they're very spot on, and they can feel the tension because you've got no time left to shoot the scene. Your job as a director is to make them feel safe, make them... And the process in that, how I do it, is when an actor... Generally, this is how it works on set. I don't know if you guys know this, but... So the actors will come in. I'll say to the first AD, let's clear everyone off the floor. Everyone clears out. So it's me, the actors. You might have the script... Well, you will have the script supervisor. The first AD will be there. Maybe the DOP, but I try not to have the DOP there on the first day of shoot because I want the actors to feel safe and more intimate. I'll have a conversation with them. Hey guys, how you been? Just loosen everyone up. All cool, relax, whatever. Sit down. We'll read the sides. And they're just going to read the sides. We're going to sit there. Say we've got two actors. An actor there. Read the sides. Great. Love it. Excellent. Guys, any questions about, how you're feeling with regards to the script? Is there any words? I like to work very flexible. It depends on the show, obviously, because some of them might be like, you need to say every word to this. But I'll go... Anything you want to change, like if it's a because to therefore, I don't know, whatever. Anything small, absolutely fine. Whatever, make them feel like they feel a part of this process. That's the biggest thing. You've hired these actors, like you've hired the head of department, to do their job. They know more than you. They would have studied about this character way more than you probably would have. So allow them to collaborate with you. Obviously, if there's times you're like, actually, I don't know if that character would do that, then obviously an actor would normally respect that and go, cool, I understand why you're doing this, isn't this? So we've done that. Then I'll say, okay, cool, guys. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that you're going to come through here. You're going to be here. You'll turn around, throw the bottle, and then run out the door. Whatever. So we'll rehearse it, we'll block through, and the actors might go, oh, actually, Sara, I don't think I'd run out the door. I would stay here. Well, I don't know, whether they say, if there's a reason for it. And I go, okay, cool, let's try that, block through. may or may not work. We'll go back to the original idea. So all these things is like allowing them to collaborate. That creates a safety, because then they're like, I feel like I'm being heard. It's honestly, directing is psychology on and off screen. Like, you need to make sure that everyone has that safety and feel like they can. Yeah, I think that's kind of, and then after that you then bring in, I don't know if you guys know this, but you then bring in all the HODs and you do what they call a crew show, and everyone watches, and then actors go off and you talk about shots and stuff like that. So yeah.
It's a bit confusing question actually. It's about writing. So you, as you said, you have Moroccan and so you have different cultures here and there.
Yeah.
So is there like any? So let's say you like aim in some a realistic subject and you want to show the truth to the world.
Yeah.
Right. So is there like any specific technique that you sit in with? For example, you sit in with one of the English people to understand their culture as a writers, and you're trying to deliver your realistic truth from different background to this culture, show them what is the truth in their way to understand it.
Be careful not to whitewash it, like wash any of your stories. Be careful not to do that. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm developing a film at the moment called Astaghfirullah, and I don't know whether it's a comedy, and I don't know whether to, at the moment I'm on the bridge of going, do I say it how you pronounce it, or do you say it how it's spelled? I'm on this, I mean, that's a little bit, you know, whatever. But just be careful not to go, know who you, again, it comes down to who are your audience? Who are your audience? Is it, for example, my film is for second generation immigrants over in a Western society? Like, that's what my film's about, which is a wide range of people. Know who your audience are. If it's not Caucasian people, that's fine. There's loads of people out there that's gonna like. So I get very passionate about this, but it's like, don't water down your stories. Also, we are in a world where at the moment, which is quite beneficial for, I'd say, the majority of the people in this room, where people want different stories. They want authored stories. So don't change. Is that what you're trying to say?
So basically, so if you bring a realistic idea from the East and you want to deliver it to the West, is it are you gonna do it like exactly the same, or are you gonna do it in the way how the people in the West gonna understand it?
No,
so the way how you write in it, you see what I mean?
It's a very good question.
Do you mean like, so when you're writing it, do you mean like, so for example, family dynamic, say Moroccan family dynamic to British family dynamic?
Yeah.
Keep it how you
keep it as a reality.
Yes.
Because it's not it's very sensitive and very difficult to understand it. That's why, because it's based on something like a huge, and you need like thousands of series to make it clear to the audience who's like even don't have a clue about it. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very new and fresh for these people, but you need to make it in very short time, not really short time, like let's say 30 minutes, for example, or 45 minutes or whatever, and just make it clear to these people as it is truth, not changing by the details, but the way how you deliver the idea to the people.
Go.
Can I just say, I'd like you to obviously answer that, but I have a friend who's a Greek filmmaker, and he started off as an independent, short films, ended up, he was queer, and he got a lot of funding to do some amazing work in Britain and in Greece. His final film, he tried to really address a Western American audience, and it totally flopped.
Yeah.
Because he was doing something that he could not achieve because his authentic voice was compromised by it. So I think...
It's exactly that answer.
Yeah. Be really careful, because you won't be able to emulate that voice necessarily, but you have your own voice that has huge value.
Don't second guess your audience. Like, honestly, you start going into that world, you'll see most of the shows that don't work is because either the director or execs, whatever, have gone, oh, this is going to work financially if we be really broad and we try and get everything. No, like, go have a clear direction of what you want to see. What do you want to see? And go and make that, basically, is what I was saying. Just stay true to it. Don't think about the audience in that sense. Yeah. I hope that answers, yeah.
We need to start wrapping this up.
Great.
Because
Yes.
it's getting cold, but also we've run over time. It's priorities. But I just wanted to touch on one last thing, because you sort of mentioned it. And we are here largely at the beginning of our career.
Yeah.
And it's difficult we can't pay people, we don't always have a big crew.
Yeah.
But you were just talking about a moment in the edit where the film's not working,
Yeah.
and the editor says, "Don't worry,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you back
Yeah.
from the cliff edge." And it's speaking into that idea that it's very easy, and I've done this myself
Yeah.
with short films, to just go, you know what, I haven't got money, I can't get lots of people involved, so I'll do it all myself.
Yeah.
Now,
Don't do it. Yeah. If you can't, look, I always see it as this, right? My first film, we didn't pay people. It was a one-day shoot. Again, it's not my intention to not pay people, but it's either that or you don't make your films, right? And now, obviously, from now on, most of the people that I use on the film Fucked worked on my TV show, Never Too Late. So there is always an intention that we all grow together, and we, you know. Now, as a director, you've got so much to think about. Allow people to have an opportunity to work on your short film and get a credit as whatever they want to do. Don't try and do all of the things, because you're going to burn out and you're going to compromise yourself. So, for example, directing and producing, people tend to do that a lot, and I've done it as well. There are two different hats. You're thinking, right, I've got no time, I've got a whatever you're thinking, producing, and then directing should be purely about the art, about what is the story, how can I facilitate and getting the most out of my crew and my cast. That should be your number one priority, is telling that story the best you can. So try and allow people in, allow people to have those opportunities to work with you, because this whole industry, you guys should be like, obviously connecting with you guys as filmmakers, and make sure you keep connected outside. Go to film festivals that are like, you can go to ones in London, and you can, sure, if you haven't got enough money for a ticket, just email them and say, look, I want to go see some films, go meet other filmmakers. The other thing I was going to say, the other thing about film festivals as well, if you don't have the budget to put your film in this particular film festival, ask for waivers. They give waivers out, they give you discounts, they give you sometimes even free. Don't be scared to ask for these things. Like, you need it. Like, there's other people out there that are fortunate who, you know, family can provide them with X, Y, and Z. If you're not in that scenario, then ask for help. It's okay to ask for help, and people will want to help you. I kind of went all over the woods there, but yeah, that's it really. Yeah.
It's great.
Yes.
That's the very thing I was after, is like, don't do it on your
No.
own. Include people, open up yourself.
Yeah.
But it's also, I guess it's the last thing, because we have a modern age of a lot of writer-directors.
Yeah.
And then if you're then editing, what's the importance of that collaboration and those other, like you were saying with the actors, they are all creative people. You're bringing them in to do their job.
Yeah. Basically, they level you up. That's the point. You've got a vision, and someone might go, I've got a great editor. I love him dearly. He's very good. He goes on all my projects with me. I know I can trust him. So whilst I'm shooting, how it works in shows, obviously they get delivered the rushes. He's starting to edit anyway. So when I get there, when I finish shooting, he's got a rough timeline, and I'll have a look at it, right? But he's going to bring something that is going to be way better. He's way more experienced. Like, for example, he did something that I didn't even know you could do. It was like just simple, which was like a split screen, and I could have one take from there with this actor and one take from another. I didn't know you can even bloody do that. He did that, and I was like, great. And he's going to add more value to your project. So don't be this director where I'm like, no one's allowed to touch my film. Don't do that, because you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. And again, remember, you hire these cool HODs who are going to elevate your film. Cool DPs. I remember in Soldiers United, there's a shot of a spinning ball, and she did this. We had like not a lot of time. She went, Sara, like, I don't know if it's going to work, but can I just try the shot? She literally pulled an arm, I don't know what they call them now, whatever, an arm rig basically, and a fidget spinner attached to it, and a ball stuck to it on her Alexa, spun the ball, and it was just like this amazing shot. And I'm so glad that she brought that to the table, because it's one of the biggest things. I'm like, this is such a cool shot, I love it. So allow people to work with you, and don't don't be that person where I'm like, this is my project and I'm going to do it on my own because I don't trust any of you. Find people who you trust, and that's it, really. That's all.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Cool.
I can bring the bits on the table.
That sounds good to me. Yes.
Guys, can I just take this opportunity for those who are in level 6? Not many of you, I know, but those who are, we have a national student survey. Can you please fill it in? Because your feedback is invaluable. This one in particular, her feedback means that you have Avid.
Wow.
So you have now been given Avid because of that feedback.
That's great.
Yeah, but you were great. Thank you. So your feedback really matters.
That's a vegan one, then we've got vegetarian.